volleyball for me has been my entire life. You know, my mom was an Olympian. You know, she played professionally. I grew up watching her. You know, I wanted to be just like my mom and follow her footsteps. So it's been everything for me. And to give my knowledge of the sport to the future, it's a dream come true for me. So it's funny, I swore up and down that I wasn't going to be a coach. It's like, there's no way I'm going to be a coach. There's no way, you know, players don't listen. And my freshman year in college, I started coaching club and just fell in love with it, you know, because I could really get into the detail of the sport, and I'm very detail oriented when I coach. And so it just really, it enhanced my game for one, and I had fun. I had fun finally giving back. And there was one thing that my mom told me. She was like, "Coach, how you play." I was always a very animated player. You know, I was the one that was always cheering, slapping the floor, you know, so that made it fun for me too. So I got to compete not only on the court, but on the sideline too. And I got to feel the emotion that my players would get when they finally accomplished something that we were working on in practice. And that was amazing. It was a very hard decision for me because I was at FIU for 7 years. We started the beach program over there, and you know, we had a really good season indoor. We made it to the conference finals. So making the decision to come to Florida Memorial, I had to really think about what my next step was as a coach. And obviously I wanted to be a head coach, but the opportunity to bring a program that was last in conference and bring it up so that it gets noticed and start a beach volleyball program was really interesting for me. You know, I got to get the best of both worlds, and that influenced my decision. Oh my gosh, it was just a whirlwind. Like, of course I was like, yeah, I'm confident in my skills, but seeing my kids on paper and seeing them in practice, like, okay, I have some good talent here. We can definitely make it to conference. But then when I started to see the fight that I had in these group of young ladies, I was definitely like, okay, we might actually be able to win this thing. And when we beat St. Thomas in the playoffs, I was confident that we were going to win. Because we were down and then come back and win it, I was like, there's no one that's going to stop us now. There's no way. We have to take it. Well, building a beach volleyball team, it depends on the player, for one. You know, you have to really want that gruelingness because you're in the sand, there's hot sun, you're playing against the wind, you know, you're switching sides, there's only two of you, so you have to really, really want that competitive grit. And all my players have that, you know, coming from indoor, and you could see that fight, they all have that grittiness that beach volleyball players need. And bringing that into the indoor, you know, these kids, they're all from different places. They're all different sizes. We were one of the smallest ones in conference, and we took it all, you know, so being a good volleyball player, it comes from you. It comes from how much you're willing to work, how much skill you're gonna train every day. So these kids train for 20 hours a week, and how much heart you're gonna put into it on the court. Because at the end of the day, the coach can only do so much. I give you the skill, and then it's up to you to use it. Honestly, I don't think so. My players always told me that I was very motherly when I coach, so I think having a daughter just kind of balanced me out a lot more, and it just enhanced my coaching style as at being the same, you know, because these kids come to me for 4 or 5 years, you know, so I'm their mom while they're at school. So they need to have the disciplinarian, and they need to have the person that they can come to when they have problems and just listen. You know, I might not solve everything, but they need someone to listen to. Trust. So the big thing is trust. You know, when I first came here, the first question I asked the players were, what are your expectations of me? And the first thing they said is they want to be able to communicate with me. They want to be able to ask questions. So, and that comes from trust. They need to be able to trust that they can come to me, ask questions, and get the right information that they need. So trust, respect, and hard work. If you have those three things, then we can build off of something. It's funny, after matches, I would see like text messages from my mom. Oh, do this, do that. Oh, tell so-and-so to do this. You know, because she was always watching all of our games and live streaming it. And then she'd be like, oh, it's frozen. You know, so she was just as into it as I am. And of course, you know, it's my first head coaching job and she's really proud of me. And, you know, we always are bouncing ideas off of each other. You know, she even comes to me still about her team and asks me questions because we've been coaching together for so long. So we have the same mind. So we bounce ideas off of each other all the time. Well, my expectations is always to win, of course. But I did stack our schedule with a lot of tough competition. And the reason being for that is because they need to learn the game of beach volleyball. And they're not going to do that by just playing people that are on the same level as they are. They need to learn against top teams, against lower teams. They need to see beach volleyball up close and personal against other opponents. So my expectations for us, definitely to win the conference matches that we need to win, because I expect us to get to the Final Four, period. And then once we're there, anything can happen. And I want to be competitive against these other Division I schools. You know, I don't want to get blown out. You know, my kids are way too talented. You know, we have a lot of heart, and beach, it can change just like the wind does.
All right, well, Coach, thanks so much. I really appreciate the time.
Thank you for having me.
Good luck on your season.
Thank you for having me.